In this episode of If You Can See It, You Can Be It, we meet Debbie Njai, the creator of Black People Who Hike.
Really, it took a close friend of mine, a close family friend. Him and his wife took me out on my first hike, which was here locally in St. Louis at Castlewood State Park. It was a quick trail. It was only 1.7 miles, but it was beautiful. It had cliff views, overlook of the river, and it was just super therapeutic at the time. You know, I had been working like 6 days a week, some weeks, and it just was a really nice outlet on a Sunday morning to experience. So that was kind of like my first hike, and then from there, it was like a weekly thing. So then every Sunday moving forward, I found a different trail using the All Trails app, and his wife had went out with me the next week, and then the week after, I think neither of them were available, so I had grabbed a friend to come out, and then next thing I knew, it was just like this movement that I was hiking every single Sunday. I started an Instagram page, Black People Who Hike, which really just started as like an inspiration page. I didn't really know exactly what I was going to do with it. It was, I was like, okay, well, I'm a Black person that hikes, and I didn't know any Black people that hiked at the time. So I'm like, hey, Black people who hike. And then I started posting stuff, and we just started organizing events. And then I just have complete strangers from Instagram join me on these hikes every week.
Debbie's childhood heavily influenced her life decisions.
I have two brothers, one sister. I'm the youngest of four. I actually have a twin brother. Grew up in a two-family household. And so me and my twin, it was, we grew up in a subdivision right outside of St. Louis, about 30 minutes outside of St. Louis in Edwardsville, Illinois. And growing up, I was a tomboy. Like, it was me and my brother, and then the neighborhood friends were all boys. So spent a lot of time outside as a child, just kind of playing in the woods, in the creeks, building forts, things of that nature. My older siblings were about 3 years older and then 4 years older. And, when you talk about 3, 4 years, talking about they're in high school and we're like middle school. So we didn't hang with them much. So it was just me and my brother Bobby. Again, kind of, I guess you would consider it hiking, but I didn't know, like, as a kid, it's not really intentional, the walking through the woods and stuff. So you don't really know that it's hiking. So as a kid, I was definitely spending a lot of time outside. But then, you get a little bit older and you kind of just get away from it all. So like, growing up, like high school and such, and then past high school, I kind of stopped spending time outside. It wasn't until my early 30s that I decided to again to venture back out.
Unfortunately, due to the weather and coronavirus, this year has been difficult for the chance to hike.
So when I started the organization, I was hiking every single Sunday, probably for about 40 weeks. There was only a couple weeks where it was too cold, like low 20s, teens, that we didn't hike. We hiked in 20-some degree weather a couple times, which was a lot of fun. A couple times it rained like heavily. We didn't hike. And then when COVID hit, we did take a little bit of break. We started doing virtual hikes on Instagram, which was really, really amazing because we found a way to still encourage people to get outside. And I'm not gonna lie, I haven't been doing the best job in staying active these past couple months, but I'm realizing the big difference in how I feel. So I'm one that I suffer from like seasonal depression. So out here in the Midwest in the winters, it's cold, it's dark. It gets dark at like 4 or 5 o'clock in the winter, and it's kind of miserable because of daylight savings. They make us set our times back, and then it gets dark so soon. So like I was always one in the winter that, I would just struggle to stay motivated. I just want to sleep in all day. So when I started hiking in 2019, I literally hiked all the way through the winter, every single week. And I was thriving. Like I was living my best life, felt amazing. And then this past winter, winter of 2020, I did not get outside as much because we weren't having events. And I felt the difference. Just a bit sluggish here and there, struggling to stay motivated. So it's definitely a learning experience for myself, just to make sure that, moving forward, I know like I have to stay active weekly. I have to, make sure I'm in nature weekly.
Debbie echoes the advice given by many others we have interviewed in this series. You do you.
So I feel like when you're in high school, you're so concerned. Majority of people, and I would say probably myself included, was concerned about like what other people thought and what's cool and what's not cool. So if I was talking to my high school self, I would tell myself to not worry about what other people think. Don't let someone else's opinion dictate your life and your future. You know, figure out what it is that you want to do, you know, and I think that was a big thing for me too. Like in high school, you feel all this pressure, like, oh, I got to graduate and I have to figure out what it is I want to do with my life. But if you're not exposed to different things, then you don't really have much to choose from. So you kind of have this cookie cutter idea of what you're supposed to do. Do you want to be a doctor, a lawyer, you know, these cookie cutter positions when there's so many other opportunities. So if it was me just going back, I would encourage myself to do things that maybe I didn't think I wanted to do, volunteer for different clubs, sports, activities, and actually be able to check off those boxes and say, yeah, I like this, or yes, I don't like this.